Okay, welcome back, guys. In this video, you're going to learn about how to supercharge your personal anecdote. Now, in the previous video, we talked about the framework for your question one in your spoken interaction. So this is a very useful framework that we should always try to apply in all your exams and all your practices. But let's zoom in a little and think about the more advanced technique. Okay, in what? In telling the personal anecdote. Now, I know that personal anecdote is it probably doesn't come very naturally for a lot of us, unless we are natural storytellers. Even I myself, I'm not a great storyteller, but there are ways for us to tell better stories. Okay, using a couple of simple techniques. So, just to recap, the personal anecdote, okay, typically how we start your personal anecdote in the middle of your response is saying, this picture reminds me of a time when blah blah blah, right? But let's forget about all of this. Let's focus on just the personal anecdote alone. There are two things that you can do to really tell better stories. Okay, storytelling is a great skill to have, not just in school, not just for your oral examination. It's also a great skill to have in life when you grow up next time. Is whether you're a salesperson next time, whether you have to make a presentation, stories will always make your points come alive. There are two easy frameworks that you can apply. Now, the first one is what I call a journey of change. The second one is what we call past, present, future. Okay, I'm gonna use my personal story to show you. Okay. Okay, the first one, the journey of change. Yeah, the journey of change itself is um, about an incident that has changed your mind. Okay, it can be an incident where you start off being a bit meh, and after that feeling a bit better, or it can also be one in which you feel great at the beginning, but at the end of the incident, the whole event, it just leaves a very poor aftertaste. A journey of change, okay, can be applied to a lot of stories. Okay, as long as you can tell me a change in your story, that will be enough. So let me tell you a short story about my hiking experience. Right, I believe in about 2017 or 18, I went to this place in Sabah. Okay, it's called Mount Kinabalu, and this is a mountain that a lot of people want to climb. It's the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia. People love that mountain for its view, and next to the mountain, in the area, there are a lot of nice islands to visit as well. So, it's a great place to be. Very famous mountain, Mount Kinabalu. Before I went there, I was really excited about going to this place because I've heard a lot of good reviews about the views there. I've heard that it's difficult, but it's not as difficult as some of the mountains that I've climbed before. So I was really looking forward to this mountain, which I signed up for together with my friend. And when on the day that we climbed the mountain, that's when I started regretting a little bit. So we climbed up the mountain. About 2 hours or about 3 hours into climbing the mountain. So I was asking the tour guide like how many more hours to go, and he said something like, "Oh, we are barely halfway through there. Probably another 6 hours to go." And my heart just sank. I'm like, "Where is this gonna end?" And I was already feeling the fatigue. But nonetheless, after one grueling day, we made it up to the top. Now you might think that, oh, that's great, made it up to the top. But the hard part is not going up the mountain. It's actually coming down from the mountain, and it taught me a very painful lesson to learn that while coming down from the mountain, okay, because the steps were so high, uh, we had to really, really be very careful in descending down the mountain. So I had to move very slowly, and because of that, my legs were really sore from moving down so slowly. Imagine you climbing down a staircase at a very, very, very slow speed. Okay, my legs were absolutely sore. My knees hurt. I thought my legs were broken. Uh, at the end of the entire hike, okay, 2 days hike, okay, went up and came down. After the 2 days, my knees, my legs, everything hurt for a good 1.5 weeks. Okay, after that climb, we went to some islands. We did some diving over there, but it was horrible because my legs couldn't really move. So I was practically paralyzed for quite a number of weeks. After that experience, I realized that okay, we should never overestimate some challenges. So never underestimate some challenges that we have. And I would be very careful if I were to climb a mountain next time. So that is my journey of change from a positive experience to a negative experience. Now, what about the next one? Okay, past, present, future. Okay, if you were to look at your own experience, okay, sometimes they may not give you the opportunity to use this journey of change, right? You could, however, relate it to how you are now presently, and you can also talk about how you think you will be in future from that one experience. Okay, the past, present, future framework is really great. Okay, a lot of impromptu speakers use this. A lot of top speakers, they will use this framework to formulate their thoughts. How do we use this? Okay, I'm gonna give you one example and you try to figure out how I use this. Okay, I'm gonna talk about basketball. Yeah. I'll say, well, judging from this picture, now it reminds me of my younger time when I was playing a lot of basketball. Back then, I would hang out with my friends until maybe 7, 8 at night or in the evening, playing basketball with them. Typically, there weren't a lot of things to do back in the past. We didn't have a lot of video games. We didn't have a lot of smartphones to play with. So basketball was really like the way for you to go out there and make friends and really distress. I enjoyed the game a lot. I wouldn't say I was great at it, but the entire year when I was 15, I was really just playing basketball every other day. Okay, at the end of the day of playing basketball, I will walk home, which was probably a 15-minute journey back home. Yet this game of basketball, okay, kind of died down as I started to grow up. Okay, nowadays I don't play basketball that much anymore. I firstly do not have a lot of people to play with. Secondly, I don't think I have the stamina nor the strength or the skills even to play a rigorous game of basketball. Now, I will say maybe in the future, when I improve my skills a little bit, perhaps I'll play some games of basketball. Okay, I will look forward to that. So that's the story. You could see the framework of past, present, and future. What you did in the past, what you did right now, what you're doing right now, and what you plan to do in the future, what you hope to do. Right. It is not exactly a story, I would say, but it is a personal experience, personal opinion nonetheless. Right. So using these two frameworks, I believe whatever topics I throw at you, you should be able to use either of this framework to come up with a personal anecdote. Now, how do you plan for a personal anecdote? Okay, or rather, when should you plan for a personal anecdote? Remember, in the first video, I showed you, okay, you have 10 minutes to do your planning for your spoken interaction. Now, in that 10 minutes, you should at least dedicate about 2 to 3 minutes to think of a story that you can tell, regardless of what kind of story, what kind of questions they throw at you. As long as your story is related to the theme here, okay, your story should, your personal anecdote should be pretty useful. Yeah. So try to do that, and I will give you a practice in a later video, okay, after we are done with all the videos, and I would like you guys to submit your response to me. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video on how to answer your second question over here. What are some of the ways the elderly can spend their time productively? I'll see you in the next video.